All right. Are we live? Are we live? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me, if you can see me. Let me know if I'm there. I'm trying to make sure everything's set up for you guys. All right. Let me know. Is the audio good? Can you hear me? Am I appearing on screen well? Okay. So sound is good. Audio is good. Visual is good. So we've obviously got a lot to talk about tonight. Most importantly being, of course, that the Memorandum of Understanding has reportedly, the details are now out. They are exactly what they said what I said they were last Friday. A lot of people thought I was wrong. Turned out I was correct. And so the goal of tonight is to pretty much just have an open and frank discussion with everybody about what does this mean? Who won? Is it fair to say we won? Did the Iranians win? Is it a draw? What are the next steps? What comes next? How is this all going to play out? So I'm going to give everyone, as always, a couple minutes to roll in here. While we're doing that, you guys know the drill. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's see some American flags in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from today. I know we got a lot of people overseas who are watching. So we'll give everyone an opportunity to roll in here. Then we'll get into it. Just a couple minutes. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone, you disappointed? Are you happy with the deal? Are you happy with the Memorandum of Understanding? Who do you think won? Let me know that in the comments right now. Who do you think won the war? Did the U.S. win? Did Iran win? Is it even over? Will there be more coming? I want to see all of your thoughts in the comments below. I am dealing with a bit of a foot injury, so if you see me rocking a little bit back and forth, dealing with a minor foot injury, but we're not going to let us slow that. We're not going to let the injury slow us down. We're going to keep pushing through. If you guys can be here on your Tuesday night with me, I obviously can push through a foot injury in order. So what I'm going to do now, before we really get into it, is I'm going to do a poll. Give me a second. I'm setting a poll up for y'all. So we've got a poll. You guys know the drills as well. Super chats always get answered. So I just did a poll. Who won the war? I'll be very interested to see as these results come in. So we're at the 3-minute mark. At 5 minutes, we'll start getting into it. We'll open by going down exactly what is in the Memorandum of Understanding. Vice President Vance has confirmed that this is more or less what it is. The thing that people are most angry about is the $300 billion investment fund for rebuilding Iran that is part of the Memorandum of Understanding. It's crazy to me that we did this, and now, according to the negotiations, we're going to help give Iran in rebuilding fees $300 billion. Pretty crazy. All right, so 62% of you have voted so far saying that you think Iran won. So it's a lot of people voting for Iran. All right, so real quick, as we let everyone get in here, again, let me know where you're at in the chat, but also equally important, you got to make sure you like the video so we can spread this to as many people as possible so people can get an unfiltered view of the truth. This is information you're not going to get anywhere else. You're not going to get it on cable news. You're not going to see it anywhere else. It's important in these critically important times that people have access to the best information. So I need you to like the video. And if you're not already subscribed to the page, you got to be subscribed to the page to get active in the chat. So people want me to redo the poll and say neither. All right, that's a fair point. I should have done that. So we're actually gonna do that right now. I don't know if I Well, I don't even know if I have the ability to. Give me 1 second. Oh, I do. All right, who won the war? All right. All right, the poll's been updated with a better phrasing of it. All right, we got a couple super chats rolling in. We're just going to start with these right away. We got Bill Kennedy for $1.99. Will IRGC start rebuilding the bomb after signing? So I made a video about this. The CIA assessment. Now, we can have whatever opinions we want. Let me see if I can find that article for you here. Oh boy, hold on. We might have something unfolding here, but I want to make sure. All right, NBC is actually literally in real time. Hold on now. All right, Iran is actually just launched. I'm going to get to this super chat, but I do want to put this on the screen. This is coming from NBC News, saying Iran has fired drones at commercial ships since agreement with U.S. was announced on Sunday. NBC News reporting Iran has fired multiple drones towards commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz since the U.S. and Iran agreed to a memorandum of understanding Sunday. According to U.S. officials, the officials said the IRGC is launching drones and that the U.S. military has been shooting them down before they can threaten commercial U.S. military ships and personnel in the area. The IRGC has fired multiple drones each night since the MOU, so since the memorandum of understanding was signed on Sunday. The U.S. military continues to coordinate with shipping in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. So this is literally the point. This is literally the point of what we're talking about right here. This is why you can't negotiate with these people. This is why the idea that we're going to have this 14-point plan, this 14-point memorandum of understanding that leads to the final deal, we are dealing with terrorists. We are dealing with legitimate terrorists. That is what they are. That is who they are. That is how they should be treated. And on that note, I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to put this on the screen. So this is to answer the super chat on the screen from Bill Kennedy. I believe I'm pronouncing the last name right. My apologies if I'm not. Also, as you can see, I got the big headphones on because I don't want my AirPods ringing in my ears like they were last week. So the CIA assessment, so the CIA internal assessment is CIA Director John Ratcliffe and other senior officials have told Trump that what the Iranians are saying privately does not match up with what their negotiators are saying. So what does that mean? How can we read into that? Well, in my opinion, it's quite simple. What it means is the Iranians still have every intention of building nukes. They're going to race for a bomb. We covered this last week. And now the fact that they're going to get sanctions relief, their money is going to be allowed to flow to the market, all of these things are going to enrich the Iranian regime. They're going to enrich the IRGC. And I'm going to be crystal clear. And I said this in a video last week. This is how this is going to unfold. And clip this. We've got a great account out there that I've seen clipping my stuff. Hookstead Updates on X. It's a really funny account. I got to figure out who's behind that account. This is how this is going to go. The Strait of Hormuz is going to come open. Our Navy's going to back off. Then we're going to say, okay, give us the enriched uranium in return for sanctions relief. And the Iranians are going to flip us the middle finger and say, we don't actually care if you take the sanctions off. We're keeping the uranium. We're going to build the bomb. That is how this is going to unfold. And then at that point, the United States has a decision to make. Will we restart the war? Will Trump restart the war? And right now, all indications in my assessment are that he absolutely will not restart the war. It seems like Trump is more or less okay with this frozen state. So poll update, who won the war? 39% say Iran, 20% say America, 41% say neither. So we got mixed results there. So the CIA right now is telling Trump, based off the information they have, Iran still intends to build the bomb. Iran still intends to enrich the uranium. They're not shutting down their nuke program. They're going to try to build a bomb. Now, how does the CIA know that? They have sources on the ground. They have signals intelligence. What is signals intelligence? It means you intercept communications, you intercept radio calls. The U.S. signals intelligence capabilities are by far and away the best in the world. You could go in with traditional wire bugs, wiretaps. You can bug apartment complexes, bug the houses, similar to what they tried to do with Kim Jong-un in North Korea with SEAL Team 6, and then you just have them wired up and you know exactly what they're saying. Now, when we get into the actual deal, well, first, let's do this. We got a lot of super chats rolling in, and then we're going to get into the actual points, point by point of the deal. So I did do this. Kevin, who's a member for 3 months, give us a neither option. I did. That was a good suggestion. Bill Kennedy for $1.99. If we make sure the IRGC stop building the bomb, we win. If we get all the highly enriched uranium, it would be a huge game changer. We would then be able to look back and say, okay, we didn't get everything we wanted. We didn't get it all. We maybe got half of it, but we got the most important part, which was the highly enriched uranium. So we're going to call that a win, and we're going to pack it up and go home and be done with it. And I think people would accept that as a win. We got Keegan Blakemore for $5. What type of operation do you think we will see in Cuba, if any? And do you think there's another country in Trump's crosshairs after Cuba's out of the way? So we'll just briefly address Cuba. It's going to be kind of similar to what you saw in Venezuela, but the Cuban system operates a little differently than what you had in Venezuela. In Venezuela, you had someone, Delcy Rodriguez, willing to play ball. So we could just take Maduro, kill all his bodyguards, pack it up, and go home. And Delcy Rodriguez, doing it under immense pressure and the threat that we'd wipe her out, she's willing to play ball, and it's worked great. We're getting the oil. We're cutting off China's access to the oil. We cut off Cuba's access to the oil. Venezuela's been a resounding success. And if we're going to criticize Trump for what has happened in Iran, we got to give him credit where he deserves credit as well. And he absolutely deserves credit in Venezuela because it was a wildly successful operation. In Cuba, you don't have that clear successor. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to go in, take out several senior government officials. You'd almost certainly have to land some level of troops, airstrikes. You'd have to not just decapitate one member of the regime. Now, I don't actually mean behead someone. I mean a decapitation strike. You would have to go after entire levels of the regime. So it would be more complex in terms of the number of targets you'd have to go. In terms of ease, it'd probably be easier because Venezuela had real air defenses, had real military. Cuba's air defenses are from the 50s and 60s. They don't have a single operational fighter jet, and their military is essentially starving. They're not on the level Venezuela was militarily. All right. Thank you very much. Darren Strawley gifted a David Hookstead membership. I always said IRGC stays in power, they win. Well, the IRGC is not just in power. They have more power than they've ever had before. The IRGC is the most fanatical, violent wing of the Iranian government. And they have more power right now in Iran than they have ever had before. They are calling 100% of the shots. They are complete. It is the IRGC. What the IRGC wants, they get. And that's an important thing to understand here. In order for the United States to win, we have a list of objectives we have to complete. We wanted to create the conditions for people to rise up. The people that were told to get out there and protest, 30 to 40,000 of them killed. That never happened. We got to get the highly enriched uranium. That hasn't happened yet. Maybe it does later. We wanted to get rid of their missile program. They still have at least 1,000 ballistic missiles. We wanted to get rid of their drones. They still have thousands of drones. The one thing we did do without debate is we destroyed their Air Force. Their Air Force was never really a threat, though, flying F-4s, F-5s, and F-14s. And we wanted to eliminate their Navy. We did eliminate the surface ships in the Navy. But the problem is they've got the little fast missile boats that they're using to close the Strait of Hormuz. The IRGC, no question about it, is 100% in control. The VP said it will not get, Iran will not, I assume you meant to say Iran, will not get a dime of U.S. money. The $300 billion will come from the Arabs. Yeah, well, and we're going to talk about that very, very quickly here. it doesn't matter where the money comes from. Giving Iran $300 billion is insane. We just spent a fortune, more than $100 billion, probably about $200 billion when it's all said and done, to destroy all these military targets. So whether the Arabs give them the money or Germany gives them the money or Russia gives them the money, just pick a country, all you're doing is just refilling their bank accounts and their pockets. And sorry, what do we think they're going to use the $300 billion for? Do we think they're going to make it into a utopia, a paradise? No, they're going to use the money to build more missiles, more drones, advance their nuke program. The $300 billion is the one part of the deal that I think is the most insane to me. All right, Shirazi says, having an MOU with an Islamic biggest terrorist organization is effing crazy. I agree with you 100%. I think it's insane, and I think that goes to the poll of how are we going to be able to claim victory? The idea is Trump said we needed unconditional surrender. We needed total and unconditional surrender, and we did not get unconditional surrender. That is just the fact of the matter. That is just the fact of the matter. All right, we got Sam's Liberty for $5. They only get sanctions relief and rebuilding fund if they cooperate with denuclearization. Again, we're going to talk about that real shortly, and I just made a point about that earlier in the video. Ultimately, what Iran wants, its two main goals, is to get its oil tankers out and to keep the highly enriched uranium. So if the Strait comes open and they get their oil out and they're able to mess around with tolls or service fees, whatever they're calling it, they don't care about getting anything else because they're not going to give up the highly enriched uranium. They're not going to do it. So what they need to do, and they've been actually, to the Iranians' credit, smart about this, is the first step of the plan is we open the Strait, the U.S. Navy backs off, our tankers can go to sea. The U.S. government has announced that they will be allowed to sell sanction-free oil, or their oil can go to the market immediately, right now. So they're going to look at that and say, that's enough. That's more than enough for us. More than enough. So we're gonna accept that. The sanctions will stay on. We won't get to $300 billion. Doesn't matter. And we're going to keep the highly enriched uranium. And the IRGC is now in control. And that is a huge win for them. Is it true that the IRGC and elected Iranian government leaders are accusing and blaming each other? Rebel and Mossad attacks on IRGC are up, and the Islamic regime is collapsing right now. True or false? That is mostly false. There has been some minor pinprick stuff going on in the country, but the IRGC is ruling the country with an iron fist right now. And what I mean by that is they've made it clear anyone who gets in the streets who's not with them will be killed on sight, will be shot on sight. The IRGC has essentially, in the vacuum of the former Supreme Leader's death, just swooped in, and they told the people that were responsible for picking the new Supreme Leader, if you don't pick Moshaba, the son, we will just kill you all. And we'll replace you, and we'll get the people to get the votes. And that is exactly what happened. So they made Moshaba, who is even more closely aligned with the IRGC than his dad was. I mean, significantly more aligned with the IRGC. His dad was with the IRGC to some degree too, but his dad would also measure out the political leaders, the IRGC, different factions within the country. The son is a puppet for the IRGC. All right, so let's get into what's actually in this deal. So these are the 14 points. It says the Islamic Republic of Iran, together with Iran, immediately agree to end all fighting on all fronts, including Lebanon. Now, why is Lebanon important? Well, Lebanon's important because Israel has been pounding the absolute hell out of it ever since the deal was reached, the days leading into the deal. And why is Israel doing that? There's a very simple answer. Israel is trying to bait the Iranians to fire ballistic missiles at them in response to what's going on in Lebanon. Israel wants Iran to fire those ballistic missiles. That then gives Israel the right or the ability, the justification, whatever you want to call it, to go in and bomb the living daylights out of Iran. That's why over the weekend, they bombed Lebanon, and then essentially the U.S. government and some other regional governments went to Iran and said, don't retaliate, don't strike back over Lebanon, and in return, we're going to free up some money with you. We're going to let your ships go to sea right now. So a big question is, can Israel do enough damage in Lebanon to break the ceasefire? And that's just something we're just going to have to wait and see. We do not know the answer at this time, because eventually Iran might get tired of not retaliating, because they need to establish deterrence. They need people to believe that their threats are real. And so far they have been during this war. And then as soon as they bomb Israel, Israel's going to go in and knock out their power plants, their infrastructure, their bridges. Then we're probably going to have power plants and bridges day. But Trump, who got very angry with Bibi, the thing people need to understand is what happens if the U.S. pulls its military support for Israel? What happens at that point? If they can't use our refueling tankers, if we don't use our air defenses to keep them safe, if we don't give them the bombs to go in, well, then Israel would not have the capability, these are just facts, whether you like them or not, would not have the capability to win an air war. They could inflict serious damage, but you're going to need more than that from the air to solve this situation. All right. It says, point 2, Iran and the U.S. agree to respect each other's territorial integrity and not meddle in the other's internal affairs. It says Iran and the United States will then continue negotiations for 60 days for a final deal. It says immediately upon the signing, the U.S. Navy blockade is over and the Islamic Republic will open up the Strait of Hormuz, which we talked about. Says upon the signing, Iran will take steps to ensure that the movement of merchant ships returns to pre-war levels within 30 days. The United States, now this is the part that pisses everyone off. Says the United States undertakes together with its regional partners to create a comprehensive plan agreed upon by both parties for the rehabilitation and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran, while ensuring financing of at least $300 billion. The implementation and mechanism of this plan as part of the final agreement will be formulated within 60 days. So that is the part. Hold on, I got to adjust my chair. So that is the part that people are very, very, very angry about. Okay, the next part, it says all types of sanctions currently facing the Islamic of Iran will end. The Islamic Republic of Iran reiterates that it will never build a nuke, buy a nuke, produce one, however you want to say it. Point 9, the Islamic Republic of Iran and the U.S. agree that they will maintain the status quo during negotiations in terms of the nuke program. So Iran is allowed right now to continue enriching uranium. They are allowed at this very moment to continue enriching uranium. By the way, we got a lot of new viewers coming in. If you want to be in the chat, you got to be subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. And please, please like the video so that we can get the truth out there to as many people as possible. All right. It says the U.S. undertakes that after signing the deal and until the date of the lifting of the sanctions, the Department of Treasury will issue waivers for exports of Iranian crude oil, petrochemical products, and their derivatives, and all related services, including banking, insurance, transportation, and the like. So we are literally telling the Iranians, in no uncertain terms, you are free to sell your oil, which you were not allowed to do before the war started. But now you are free to sell your oil globally and make billions and billions and billions of dollars. This is some more. That's not really all that. So we're going to allow their banking system to get opened up. The Islamic Republic of Iran and the U.S. agree that an implementation mechanism will be established to oversee the successful implementation of and future commitments. And that's pretty much everything there is. And it'll ultimately be ratified and approved by the UN Security Council. So after everything I just read you, let me know your answers in the chat. Do you look at that and say, we won? Do you look at that and say, yes, The U.S. dominated. The U.S. won. And this was a great victory for the United States of America. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to watch the live chat. Someone calling me a traitor. If someone's in the chat calling me a traitor, you're out of here. You're about to get banned. I am absolutely not a traitor. I'm an American patriot, and that nonsense is absolutely not going to be tolerated. So a lot of people in the chat are saying they think the U.S. lost. We'll see. We did give them a lot. We gave them things they didn't have before that they have now. So we got some more super chats to get to. If we strike Cuba, can Cuba hit Florida? Cuba has some long-range drones. We have the ability to deal with that. The bigger concern is Guantanamo Bay is right there. And I don't know what the air defenses are at Guantanamo Bay. That they should be more worried about hitting our troops at Guantanamo Bay. And if you see a troop drawdown at Guantanamo Bay, that's probably a pretty good sign that something's about to go on. The leader of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, is raining down on the Druze population, and POTUS wants him to battle Hezbollah. Why? This guy's horrible. I did a DuckDuckGo search on him. Let me pull up the video of what that is, and I will see. Stick with me here. I'm going to pull up the video of what they're talking about. So Trump today said that instead of letting the Israelis go into Lebanon, Trump might want the Syrians. So I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. Give me a second. So this is Trump's comments about that, about the former terrorist, although are you ever a former terrorist who now runs Syria, who overthrew Bashar al-Assad's government? Trump wants him to go into Lebanon to fight Hezbollah. Let's watch.
And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it. And I didn't like Syria. I didn't like where 2 hours before we're signing the agreement that there was an attack in Lebanon, in Beirut. It was right in, it wasn't like in the southern side, and it was in Beirut. I did not like that. I let them know that. I didn't like it, not at all. But I think that Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable. And he's been very good for me. He's protected everything that I've asked for, he's done. And if Israel can't do the job without killing everyone else, he'll do the job. Syria will do the job.
So that is President Donald Trump announcing that he thinks Syria, the Syrian government of al-Shara, should go into Lebanon because he doesn't think the Israelis can get the job done. I think that guy's terrible. I think it might be relatively stable now. I think the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad, which was backed by Turkey, I think there will be, when you put a terrorist in charge of a country, has that ever worked? Has that ever once in history ever worked? No. I wouldn't expect it to be the first time it does. Crown Prince is pro-American, need people to revolt. Again, Bill Kennedy back for $2. Listen, I would love to watch the people of Iran rise up and drag out the mullahs and the IRGC into the streets and take care of that problem themselves. But the fact of the matter is, number one, they don't have weapons. And number two, they just didn't rise up. Everyone was promised they would. Trump promised us they would. The Israelis told Trump they would. That was a part of convincing him to go into this war, and it just simply did not happen. So I don't think the people of Iran are going to rise up. I think if they would have, it would have happened earlier. Would have happened in the early days after the Ayatollah was killed, and it, quite frankly, simply did not. So I don't think that's going to happen. Are your resources, I believe you mean sources, Byron Shear, telling you we are very low on inventory in our depots. I have not been told we're low. My wife actually did a great report on this a couple months ago. We are fine. Our missile stockpile numbers are fine. Now, have we used a lot of Tomahawks and THAAD and all that stuff? Absolutely. We've got stockpiles on top of stockpiles on top of stockpiles. We got stockpiles people don't even know about. We got stockpiles that aren't even recorded into the public searchable record. So our missile inventory is fine. Here's whose air defense inventory is in big trouble, and that's Israel. Israel's air defenses are running low, which is interesting considering that they are, they're looking to escalate, but they're looking to escalate because they know the United States of America will obviously be there to provide air defense for them, which gives them a level of confidence that they otherwise obviously wouldn't have. We got big. Is that supposed to be big? But it's BI6 Dog 240. I believe we lost. I think we are low on missiles. Well, I just talked about the missile thing. I think the bigger thing was, I think Trump got worried about gas prices, and I think he got worried about the stock market kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I think I don't think the missiles are not the problem. We've got more than enough missiles for a situation like this. We got John Babcock for $2. U of M helmet on shelf, or you are a traitor. I got a bunch of family members who are from Michigan who are huge Wolverines fans. I am not one of them. All right. At this moment, this news is just coming in. We have multiple aerial refueling tankers are up in the Persian Gulf. This is right now, and we have multiple early warning or AWACS and Navy P-8 Poseidon intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft are in the air at this moment. By the way, guys, bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. If you have any information you want me to know, my DMs are open on Instagram and Twitter. You guys have been amazing, sending me tips, sending me leads to hunt down. Some of you have sent me some insane video footage, eyewitness testimonies of what's going on over there. No tip is too small. Reach out and let me know what you know. Make sure to give me a follow on both because I do share a lot of cool stuff there as well. So at this moment, we do have multiple refueling tankers up in the air, likely for whatever, probably I would assume just observation reasons. I don't think we're going to see any bombs fall tonight that like we saw last week. All right, I'm getting the next thing. We're just checking updates as they're coming in. As we see, I'm just checking to see what we got. So let's do another poll. We'll do this poll. We'll start a poll. All right. So do you guys think I just put a poll in there? All right. We got $2. No comment from Chris Williams. Thank you very much. Like I always say, guys, every dollar you pour in goes right back into the show. This is not free to do. Everything, I got to pay for a lot of stuff to do it. So you guys help keep the lights on here. So I do appreciate every dollar that comes in. All right, what do we got here? A lot of you are saying you don't think the deal will hold. A lot of you are saying we didn't win. And again, there is, some people get very angry with me. They get very angry with my analysis, and they're like, well, you hate Trump. You're against Trump. I'm not against Trump. I voted for Trump. What I'm against is getting into a war, not accomplishing the clearly stated objectives, and then leaving Iran in a position where they've proven to the world they can shut down the Strait of Hormuz. And instead of going in and finishing the job and doing what must need to be done to make sure they never have a nuke, they're now in a position to sell their oil freely. And they're going to be in a stronger position potentially than where they were before the war started. So you guys know my opinion. I think the ceasefire was a complete mistake. I think it was absolutely insane. We even had a ceasefire. We had all the momentum. We had our boot on their neck. And when you got your boot on the enemy's neck, you don't pick it off. Again, we're talking about a regime that killed, according to my sources, in the ballpark of 35,000 innocent civilians. Does that sound like a group of people that can be negotiated with? Because it certainly doesn't sound that way to me. You got to go in, you got to go hard, and you got to make sure you win. So far in the poll, 83% of you are voting. You expect Israel to try to restart the war. I think that is probably the correct answer, that they will try to get this deal blown up, no pun intended. All right, Canman 809, and nothing changes. We literally blow up the enemy and then pay to rebuild it. Thanks for your knowledge and hard work, Mr. Hookstead. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Yeah, make that make sense. It's not like post-World War II, right, in Europe, where there was an unconditional surrender. Now we have the threat of the Soviet Union. We got the threat of communism. So we're going to try to rebuild Germany as fast as we can, and we're going to try to make West Germany, I don't want to say puppet state, but we need West Germany to be strong. We need West Germany to be with us. And that's why you saw a lot of their leaders, a lot of their former military officials start working with the U.S., working with the Brits. That makes sense because you have a looming threat. You got the big red bear, the Soviet bear, that you need to crush. This doesn't make any sense. The IRGC is in control, and there's a potential that they're going to get all this stuff. To me, it just seems utterly ridiculous. Hold on. Got to check my phone real quick. There could be stuff coming in. Also, did you guys see the terrorist attack that got foiled that was supposed to happen on Sunday at the White House? Absolutely insane. They were going to use drone attacks. They had snipers they were going to use. Fortunately, the FBI, the federal government, Secret Service stopped it. Would have been terrible. As you guys know, I live in the general area. By the way, I had to call the cops twice yesterday in the span of 5 minutes because I was dealing with, I was witnessing, I wasn't personally involved, but I was witnessing just the absolute lowest of society. So in the past 24 hours, I've hurt my foot, had to call the cops twice, foiled terrorist attack where I live. So it's been quite the time for me. When Michigan is not in, we love Wisconsin. Oh, yes. Well, thank you. Your football team's been way better than ours recently. Way, way, way better. I wish Wisconsin could get back to its winning ways. Thank you very much. We got Brian Newland. Agree with you 100%. Then eventually having nukes, not good and absolutely horrible. Shaking effing head. Yeah. No, I don't want those crazy terrorists to have nukes either. I think it's insane that we're even in. I think it's insane we're even in this situation. We shouldn't be. This should not be tolerated. We got to win. We should have gone hard. We should have hit them as hard as we could have and just ended it. And real quick, because I think this is important, and we'll break this up as we get some stuff in here, but I want to put this on the screen for you. Let me see if I can get the latest updated version. All right, so I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is very, very sad. So I made a video yesterday about the B-52 that went down in California. I was saying a prayer at the time, hoping and praying that maybe a miracle happened and somebody was able to survive. We now know, according to a release from the military, that all 8 people, there were 8 people on board, all 8 are deceased. The military describing the crash as not survivable. Nobody was able to make it out. It's a terrible, heartbreaking, tragic situation. We lost a whole plane of American patriots. And you knew as soon as we saw the video and we saw the photos, you knew nobody had made it. There was nothing left. There was nothing of the plane left. It was vaporized. But yet, I think many of us, who believe in God, Christians, we all wanted to hold out hope, say a prayer that maybe someone somehow was able to survive. And unfortunately, I can now report to you tonight that all 8 members on the bomber perished in the crash. And our prayers are not with just their souls, but are with their family and friends. Because remember, they might no longer be with us, but the pain and the heartbreak that their families are enduring right now is unlike anything you can imagine. I can tell you from personal experience, death changes people in ways that you can't imagine sometimes. So we are praying for their families. We're praying for them. And it's a terrible, terrible situation. I'm seeing a couple comments that the video might not be good. Is the video working? If the video's working, let me know. Let me know if the video's working or if there's a lag. We do not know why the B-52 crashed yet. They have not released an official investigation other than it crashed literally as soon as it took off. Hold on one second. As soon as it took off. Okay, so the video's good. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, I'm just trying to see if we got any updates. Oh, yeah, and we had the Russians shoot at a British ship today, a British yacht. So we are living in a very crazy, crazy time right now. This is I'm going to put up the Hookstead updates account. I can't get enough of this account. I don't know who's running it, but it might be the funniest account on Twitter. Let me put this up on the screen for you. So if you guys aren't following this, I'm following it. Obviously, it tweets out clips. It's got a photo of me in a robe here somewhere. So this is actually whoever this fan is or whoever this person is. They found this old photo of me in a robe to promote the live stream tonight. And if you look in the background, that Yellowstone Yeti mug is currently unaccounted for. Now, I know who has it, and they've been told to return it or hostilities will commence. But I'm not going to divulge the facts of that here on the live stream. But no operations are underway. Yeah, it is a comfy robe. All right, we got some more super chats. I'm concerned Israel will nuke Iran. If Israel nukes Iran, I think they would turn it. I mean, the international community would lose their minds if a nuclear power nuked a non-nuclear power in a first strike. Well, number one, what you would see happen immediately. This is you got to remember, when a country makes a global decision that changes the world for everyone, it's then used as justification by other countries to do things. So why won't Russia use tactical nukes in Ukraine? The answer is very simple. It's because they know the international community would never tolerate that, never accept that. It's taboo. Why does North Korea not use nukes against South Korea, Japan? It's because they know the international community would never accept that. If Israel nukes Iran, why wouldn't Russia immediately detonate tactical nukes in Ukraine? Why wouldn't North Korea use nukes to defeat South Korea? So no, the international community, they would be outcast in a way. I mean, it's literally impossible to even imagine. I cannot imagine what the aftermath would be, but it would be bad. It would be very bad for Israel. And they're not dumb people. They know what they're doing. and they're not going to do anything like that. All right. We got Brian Newland is back for $2. Iran wants to rule the world. Well, I don't know if they want to rule the world. They definitely want to rule the Middle East. That's for sure. So actually, this gives me a new poll idea. We'll do this poll now. I'll be very curious what you guys say. Will Israel use a nuke? Someone asked if it's an ultra pouch. It is not. It's ALP. All right. So yeah, they definitely want to rule the region. That I can guarantee you. I see some people saying the Iran is the bully of the Middle East. That's 100% accurate. 100% accurate. They've been terrorizing the region for 47 years. Hold on. So you can't deal with these monsters. Let's call them what they are. They're monsters. The government of Iran are monsters. Do you negotiate with monsters or do you take them out? Do you eliminate them? And the answer is you got to have the resolve to get the job done. You got to have the resolve to go in there and knock them out. Plain and simple. So I'm you know what? I'm frustrated. I'm just going to speak bluntly to you all. I'm frustrated, and I'm sure many of you are frustrated, and you should be frustrated because we were essentially told, here's what we're going to do. And now we're being told, well, no, actually, maybe we'll get a peace deal. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say peace deal. That's not what we wanted. That's not what we were told. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me. I don't have any other way to sum it up other than just saying it is crazy to me, the situation we are in right now. And I do see a lot of new people coming in here. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the page, make sure you're subscribed. If you please like the video. That is the only way. That is the only way we can get the truth out there, the truth that you won't hear anywhere else. Because listen, here are the facts. We all know this. We can just speak bluntly and straightforward with each other. People in the media all have a narrative, whether it's right wing, left wing, whatever it is. Pick a side. It's all the same game. They're all playing the same game. I know these people. I've known these people for going on, 13, 14 years. I know how these people operate. They come to a narrative and they are going to tell you that their narrative is the truth. So people who hate Trump have a narrative that this is a disaster and he's controlled by some shadowy group, or he's controlled by Bibi Netanyahu and everything's a disaster, doom and gloom, and that's the rhetoric that has seen multiple attempts on his life. And then you have other people who will just parrot any talking point that Trump puts out there. If Trump says total victory, we won everything, even if we don't get the enriched uranium, even if the people are still slaves to the IRGC, even if a worse class of leader, even if the worse people are now running Iran than before, by the way, that's a fact. The most radical elements of the IRGC are. I'm just here to tell you the truth. And the truth of the matter is we are now in a bad situation. This is a bad situation. And it is a bad situation that has no clear fix or solution. When you're in a bad situation with no clear fix or solution, and you're now negotiating with a terrorist genocidal regime, that's a bad place to be. And that's why I think the ceasefire was a mistake. So I see some people saying they did like the UFC fights at the White House. I think that I watched them. I think they were very good. I enjoyed them. I wasn't able to stay up for the whole thing, but I watched some of it and I did like them. Speaking of which, when I'm done doing this, I'll probably start watching the History Channel's new World War II documentary. All right. UK could only send one destroyer if they were going to help us. I suspect this is why NATO countries didn't want to help. UK Navy is currently smaller than the task force that sailed to the Falklands. Yeah, the UK's Navy has turned into a joke. I mean, their naval capabilities are incredibly small. And that is, they don't have the capabilities to do much. I mean, this is not the 1940s anymore. This is not World War II where everyone was armed to the teeth. This isn't even the 1980s for most countries. It's a sad reality. The Pakistanis saved Iran. Eagles fan Clark for $2. Thank you very much. They caused all this. Yeah, Pakistan. What wonderful allies Pakistan is. They harbored Osama bin Laden. They allowed terrorists, specifically the Haqqani network, to run over the border. They more or less, the ISI, which is their version of the CIA, more or less controls the Taliban. Then when we're kicking Iran's teeth in, the Pakistanis get involved and convince Trump to stop and pretend to be impartial. Again, the people that housed Osama bin Laden 1,000 yards from the equivalent of their West Point. Why are we listening to the Pakistanis? Who cares what the Pakistanis think? Pakistan is not an impressive country. There are some very impressive countries in that region of the world. Pakistan is not one of them. So I don't know why we're supposed to care what Pakistan thinks. I certainly don't care what Pakistan thinks. I'm sure all of you watching this don't care what Pakistan thinks. But, I mean, the Pakistanis, don't even get me started on the Pakistanis. Do not even get me started on the Pakistanis. All right, what do we got? We got Brian Newland back. I'm beyond frustrated. I'm pissed being a veteran. Well, don't let this situation diminish the fact you're a veteran. We thank you very much for your service. The veterans are the best of America. They make up the backbone of the country. They served. You did your job. I assume that everyone does it to the best of their ability, or I hope they do. I know many of them do. And don't let this derail that. So we got Drew Klein. Iranian regime is evil, but one thing I can't justify is the U.S. and West support of Saddam in the Iran-Iraq war. We gave chemical weapons to Saddam. Yeah, we probably just should have sat that one out entirely. It is true. We did support Saddam in the Iran-Iraq war. The fallout from that war then led him in part, not entirely, but in part, led Saddam to then invade Kuwait, which then started Desert Storm. Then we all know what happened after that. Saddam was a piece of garbage. And, but the fact of the matter is, when two bad guys are fighting, it's okay to sit it out. And when the Iraqis were fighting the Iranians, and it was the insane, fanatical, Islamic dictatorship in Tehran fighting the dictator in Baghdad, even though Saddam was not religious really at all. It's okay to sit that out. But I think part of it was, and maybe someone in the comments would know more, but I think part of it is we wanted to weaken the Islamic regime as much as possible. So we looked at Saddam and we said, okay, yeah, this is a bad guy. But we hate the Iranians more than we hate Saddam. So they're fighting, they're in a war. Let's see if we can try to tip the scales here. And all we had, that war was, I believe, 8 years long. And it was just an unimaginably brutal bloodbath that it was just terrible. Chemical weapons being used. You had the trenches. The Iranians were sending out child soldiers. Just gross stuff. All right, what do we got in the chats? What are you all talking about? If you're a veteran and you're watching this, let me know. Let me know if you're a veteran in the comments. I would love to see how many veterans are watching this today, watching this tonight. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, because I see a lot of you guys are talking about Pakistan and foreign countries. At the end of the day, the United States needs to do what's best for the United States. That should be the number one priority. Doesn't need to be the only priority, but it should be the number one priority. We are the world's global superpower. We are the richest country in the world. We are the strongest country in the world. We are the smartest country in the world. We are a country of innovators, entrepreneurs, people that change the future. You build your own destiny, manifest destiny. That's what America's about. And if we can help our friends out, I'm all for it. And we've got some allies that don't get a portion of the respect they deserve. I would say Poland, Australia, South Korea, Japan. Incredible allies. No one ever talks about them. But we got to look out for us. We've got to look out for the United States of America above all else. All right, I'm trying to look to see what updates we've got coming in here. Seeing what we got. Keep the chat flying. We got a lot of veterans in here. Big fan of Poland. I'm a military wife. Missouri's in the house. Air Force vets. Navy vets. Army veteran. Very nice. A lot of veterans. Love to see it. And again, if you're just joining the show, please make sure to like the video and make sure you are subscribed to the page if you want to participate in the chat. Give me a second. Someone's saying, I think Iran won just by surviving. That's all they had to do. All that Iran had to do to win was survive. The IRGC just had to stay in power. And guess what? They did. As of now. Now, maybe this turns back on. Maybe this ends with us coming in hard and blasting them. I don't know. It's unclear how this will end yet. But right now, what we do know is that it's in a bad place. It's in a very, 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 very bad place. And that is okay to admit. Hang tight here. We got information coming in. All right. Keep your chats rolling in. Keep your chats rolling in. By the way, are you guys getting notifications for my regular videos? Are they showing up on your front page? Are you getting notifications? This is a serious question, so please give me serious. I need serious responses in the chat right now. When I post a regular video throughout the week, right? Regular 10-minute explainer video. Is that showing up on your front page YouTube? Are you getting a notification? How often is it showing up? Is it not showing up more than it is showing up? Because I'm very curious. So a lot of you are saying yes. So they are on the front page and you are getting notifications. Some of you are saying just sometimes. Did you guys get a notification for this one? Okay. All right. So it seems like a mixed bag. Some of you are, some of you aren't. Seems like most of you are. Some of you saying not as much as you used to. Interesting. Okay. Someone's asking, is there a bigger threat out there that the White House maybe hasn't made public? The biggest threat we face is China. Let's just be honest. It's China. No question about it. And China's a problem. All right. What will the effect of the war's fallout be on the reserve currency status? Won't change anything. The U.S. dollar is going to remain the reserve currency of the world, probably for at least the rest of my lifetime. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there that they make it seem like it's going to switch to China's currency or something else. China's economy is huge, but it's not capable of what we're capable of. and its military cannot project power anywhere in the globe, anyone at any time it wants. We can. Now, what we've learned from this Iran situation is simply having the ability to do that doesn't get you all the way there unless you're willing to execute it. And that's why I think people are very frustrated and disappointed with Trump, because we were told at the start of the war, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going in to do. This is why we're doing it. And we're going to win. And then out of nowhere, we decided, actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to have a ceasefire. And that is not what people wanted to see. Where would you like to see things with Iran go from here? Good question from Slugworth 81111 or 8111, however you want to pronounce it. That's a tough question, because we had a window of opportunity to do a ground operation inside of Iran to get the uranium. That was no longer an option after the pilot, the F-15 crew, was shot down, in my opinion. I don't, believe it or not, the military planners didn't brief me ahead of time. So that is just based off of what I know of the situation. So really, our options are this, as bad as this is about to be for people to hear. We can continue the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, at which point Iran will continue shooting at any ships that aren't theirs. The oil markets will eventually explode, and you will see the price of oil go up to $150, $170 a barrel. That's just a fact. And let me touch on this. Now I'm about to cook. There are people who don't understand economics, energy, and warfare on social media with large followings who are saying things like, the price of oil is only $82 a barrel. See, nothing's wrong. Yeah, the price of oil is only $82 a barrel or $90, wherever it fluctuates to, because we have the ability in the short term to mitigate that, to mitigate the oil prices from exploding. The key words there would be short term. Those solutions are essentially Band-Aids. And right now they're a Band-Aid on a small cut. Well, the bigger the cut gets, or maybe it turns from a small cut to a gunshot wound to the chest, Band-Aids ain't going to work anymore. And there's only so much pain in fixing the economy, the oil market can take before you feel the full effect of how bad it's going to be. So when you see these people on social media who you can tell, I don't even know I don't know what they think their qualifications are, talking about this stuff, it's comical to me. I know a guy who is an oil market and energy market expert. Actually, I know two of them quite well. I have asked both of them, when will this all, like, everything's fine, war's over, everything's done, when will everything stabilize, go back to normal? The answer they give me is October or November. That is the best case scenario. So blockading the strait indefinitely and allowing Iran to bomb ships indefinitely will ultimately break the oil market. Fact of the matter. It hasn't yet, because those short-term fixes and tools that we have in our toolbox have worked reasonably well, but they can't work forever. It doesn't work that way. So we can go to the Iranians and say, listen, you're going to give us all the uranium. You're going to walk in there. You're going to pull it out. You're going to hand it over to us. Or we're going to come in again with another air campaign, and we're going to hit everything. We are going to hit everything. Everything that's a legitimate military target, we're taking it out. We're sending this thing back to the Stone Age. So your options are, give us the uranium, or we will blast you in ways you didn't even know was possible. And unfortunately, I think those are the only options we got. And that would require another large bombing campaign. And quite frankly, I don't know how many people in the American public or even President Trump have the stomach for that right now. My question, are we a puppet master? Brian Newland. Are you talking about how we control other countries? Oh, absolutely. We can exert influence. I mean, essentially Venezuela at this point is a puppet state because we took Maduro, we put our person in power, and we control everything. We're running that country. And in fact, I might go visit Venezuela. There have been talks for me to go down to Venezuela. I might visit Venezuela. I did hear from a source of mine that's probably not safe for me right now to go. They think I could likely be a target for the gangs or the Maduro loyalists, but they think maybe within 6 to 9 months, I'll be able to go to Venezuela, and I would love to do it. All right, we got $2 from BMW FR Berg. No message. Thank you very much for the $2. We got David Trojanowski. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Also, no message. Thank you very much for the $5. Let's see what we got here. Looking to see what we got. Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna speak honestly to y'all. So I have a bit of a runny nose. Be careful who you listen to in the media. Be very careful who you listen to. And just because somebody knows something about one topic does not make them an expert on all other topics. And I see this shit. Apologize for the language. I know it's a family show. I see this stuff where people are on TV and on social media talking about things they don't know anything about. And it's makes my ears bleed, the level of grifting. Grifting's the best way to put it. And both sides have grifters. The left wing has grifters. The right wing has grifters. I think the difference is the left wing grifters probably believe much of what they say. The right wing grifters, it's all an act. And how do I know that? Because I know many of these people personally. And they're the worst people on the planet. They're terrible. They're just terrible people. There's no other way to sum it up. I always try to be straightforward and honest with you guys. I would never, ever, ever do that nonsense. I have literally seen things with my own eyes of some people, you'd be shocked by who they are, but household names in the political world. And it's a clown show. It's an absolute clown show. All right, let me see if we got any updates coming in. All right, hang on. Give me 1 second. I got to keep resetting this thing. And I don't know why. All right, I'm looking for updates as they're coming in to see what we got, to see if there's been any updates so far. So yeah, be careful who you listen to. Oh, we got another $5 from David Trojanowski. Thank you very much. Let's see what we got in the chat. Ron and I listened to you, Different Breed, and Iran and the Enforcer. Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. Here, let's do another poll. So 70% of you think that they will not, that Israel will not use a nuke. All right. We're going to do, are you frustrated with Trump? Let me know. Vote. Yeah, people are saying you got to be careful who you listen to. Make sure you're not listening to fake news. The View. People are trashing The View. The View sucks. Those women are absolute clowns. Absolute clowns. Is the audio still good? I'm hearing people keep saying that the audio and the video is not good. I hope it is. I'm trying to make sure it is for you all. All right, hold on. People are saying don't trust politicians. 100%. All right, We got Bullman 5560. Trump has done the impossible. He made a deal. Iran will break it, and then he will officially declare war and finish Iran. Well, listen, I don't know if this is some 5D chess play. I really don't. I think Trump, quite frankly, in my opinion, is looking at the situation and saying, you know what? Enough's enough. I got the midterms coming up. The market has had some instability. Gas prices are all over the place. Maybe it's time we wrap this up and go home. I think there's a real chance Trump's thought that. And I just would like to point out, I told everyone on Friday, it was either Friday or Thursday, I don't remember, what was going to be in the deal. And I had a bunch of people freak out in the comments, all that stuff, calling me a liar, claiming I didn't know anything, attacking my wife. Well, I'm not happy about it, but who turned out to be right? I'm not excited about the fact I was right, but I was. And this is why you see people on TV who do all this cope and spin, and you just got to wonder, where are you getting your information from? Because what you're saying is not going to turn out to be accurate. I don't know. As you can see, I'm a little frustrated. 71% of you are frustrated with Trump. Also, guys, I might get back into doing some of the deep dive. Oh, my hair is showing under my hat. Hang on one second. I might start getting back into the deep dive investigations of historical events. We try to find guys who maybe have been less than truthful in their life stories. If there's an event you want me to look into, let me know in the comments below. A historical event. Hair is awesome. Well, thank you very much. People are saying they need to leave my wife out of it. My wife's a phenomenal reporter. When she says something, when she issues a report, you can take it to the bank. 100%. She also made some really good dinner yesterday. I had the leftovers tonight before hopping on here. It was phenomenal. Forever Young Muse, $2. Didn't even have a comment. Thank you very much. A lot of people in the comments are saying Iran is going to come out on the better end of this. So we will see. I mean, listen, I don't know. Yes, my wife is a White House reporter. She's at the White House pretty much every day. She's very good at what she does. Very, very talented at what she does. Hang tight. I am fortunate to be surrounded by really, really good people. Forever Young Muse for $2. Do you think Trump has the stomach to nuke Iran? I'm going to go ahead and answer that Trump is not going to nuke Iran. We talked about this earlier in the video. A country that has nukes, using them against a country that is not so far. Iran wants them, and they're very close to getting them. But using nukes in a first strike, you would set off a chain reaction. You would set off a chain reaction you would never be able to control the outcome of. So I don't see that happening. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Brian Newland, July 3rd, 1988 for me, you'd make me happy. Is that the day you got out of the military? What happened on July 3rd, 1988? Cube Gaming 2300. If it was me, I'd call the Army Corps of Engineers and start building pipelines like the war depended on it. I don't know why this isn't obvious. Are you talking about pipelines in the Middle East or pipelines here in the United States so we could start getting more oil out? I mean, the U.S. has a ton of energy resources right here in America. But our Gulf allies, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, they also, I mean, that whole area is an oil-rich area, obviously. So where do you want to see the pipelines built? Let me know. Someone's saying, I like your wife because she's a straight to the point kind of reporter, and we need more like her. Oh, she's going to like that comment. She is a straight to the point reporter. Has Trump ever called your wife fake news? No, not that I know of. If he did, I didn't hear about it and I didn't see it. And I feel like that's something I definitely would have seen before. So no. She's been on Air Force One and Trump's other private plane with him. So she's a very good reporter. Very, very good reporter. All right, let me check for updates as they're coming in. Oh, looks like we just had a boat strike. Who wants to watch the boat strike? Looks like we just smoked another narco terrorist. Should we watch it? I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Little off topic, but it literally just happened. So right here, we just took out another drug boat. Boom. Absolutely epic. Just lighten them up. Oh, man, I could watch that all day. So actually, that's going to lead me to my next poll. 71% say you're... I'm going to do a fun poll. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, so Brian was saying that July 3rd. So Brian was in here last Tuesday talking about the Iranian airliner that was shot down in the 80s. So he was saying that was the day. Yes. So July 3rd, 1988 was the incident I was involved in. I was on the USS Elmer Montgomery, FF 1082 when the airliner was shot down. I've done my research. So yeah, we talked a lot about that last week. Crazy, crazy, crazy story. Hold on one second. All right. So should Delta Force go in, take out the cartels in Mexico? 88% of you are voting yes. Someone saying you can tell Trump has respect for your wife. He always answers her questions. She is highly intelligent. That's why Trump has respect for her. Plus, she asks good questions. She is very intelligent. Very, very, very smart. Very smart. Dare I say she's even smarter than me? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. She'll hold it over my head forever. She's very intelligent. We want pictures. People are saying we want pictures. You want pictures of what? Oh, where's the dog? You guys want to see the dog? Should we go get Dusty? I can go see if Dusty's awake. You got to remember, Dusty's 14. Do you want to see Dusty? If you guys want to see him, let me know in the chat. And I can probably... All right, let me go grab Dusty real quick. Don't go anywhere. Take me... Well, number one, I got to find where he is, but then I'll go get him. Give me a second. Getting out of this set's never easy. All right, we've got Dusty. For those of you who haven't met Dusty before, oh, you okay? Hey, what's your message? What's your message to the viewers, Dusty? The mascot of the show, Dusty. Hey, Dusty, you want to look? Aw. He's 14 years old. You want to get down? You want to get down? All right. I'm going to let him go. Give me 1 second. So that is Dusty. He's a min pin. He's a min pin. He's 14 years old. He weighs 12 pounds. He is the mascot of the show, for sure. I have some shirts, the Dusty shirts. I might have to start selling those soon. All right, what do we got? What do we got from the fans? A couple of you keep asking his age, 14. Guys, it's a serious show, and we're talking about a lot of dark stuff. People are very angry. People are frustrated. People are upset. I get it. The dog, hopefully will boost our spirits a little bit. If you got a good dog story, let me know in the chats. Bill Kennedy for $2. True regime change is the only solution. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. I think that the IRGC has assumed control. The IRGC is in, they've got more power than they've ever had before. And they're not going to give it up. They're just not going to give it up. So 88% of you have voted that you want to see Delta Force crush the cartels in Mexico. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Oh, here's a fun one. Now I'm just going back to the hits. I love how everyone loves Dusty. Dusty's turned into a little internet star. He is a great dog. Great dog. All right, I'm going to throw another poll at you all here. This will get the internet talking. All right. Which unit do you prefer? Delta Force or SEAL Team 6? And by the way, guys, if there's people you want me to interview to bring on the show, let me know in the comments. If there's someone you want me to interview, like who would be a really cool guest you'd like to see me interview, let me know in the comments, in the chat. What do we got here? People are talking about Carmelo Anthony. Yes, Dusty is 14 years old. You guys want to see me interview my wife? You want to see me interview Trump? Pete Hegseth, Trump, Prince Pahlavi. So right now, Delta Force is leading the poll. A lot of Delta Force fans in here. All right. So we do have a lot of planes up in the air right now. I don't know exactly what is going on. They're likely running spy patrols. But we are certainly monitoring the situation. CIA assessment, the IRGC are terrorists. Yes, they are. Brian Newland, C, both Delta Force and SEAL Team 6. Yeah, they're both great. They're both great. I love both of those units. I got buddies who've been in both of those units. They've all done some absolutely insane stuff. I mean, you're talking about the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. In the speed, this is what blows my mind. This is what I was never in the military. I'm always crystal clear about that. I don't want anyone to ever think I was in the military. I was never in the military. I know a little bit about handling firearms, and a little bit, not much, just a little bit. If you think you're a good shooter and you think you'd be good in a CQB situation, and maybe you are good, I don't know. I don't care how good you are. You ain't as good as either of those two units. The speed, we're not going to talk about tactics or anything here because I'm not a piece of garbage who gives information away to the enemy. The speed at which those guys can take down a compound and just melt dudes under intense pressure and clear it. Bullets flying under night vision goggles. There ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing like it. And you see some of the videos of these dudes, it's absurd how good Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 are at doing CQB. It is legitimately, it's almost hard to put into words. Someone said the Royal Marines are better, is in the Royal Marines of the UK. First off, the 22 SAS and the SBS, Special Boat Service, I got all the respect in the world for those guys. But the fact of the matter is, no. 22 SAS on a man level, like 1-to-1, if you listen to the Delta Force guys, they'll tell you they're pretty much the same. The difference comes in technology, budget, things like that. But in terms of operational skills, they're pretty much, the Delta guys will tell you they're pretty much the same. The Maduro raid took 6 minutes for Delta as example. Yeah. And that was with the helicopter getting shot, in the pilot of the helicopter that was landing the assault force, getting shot 4 times with armor-piercing rounds. So now they got a problem. And he manages to land that thing. And then the assault force under heavy fire gets off, gets inside, and just starts putting a smackdown on Maduro's Cuban bodyguards. It's, again, until you see it, whether it's videos or in person, and I've obviously never been on a Delta Force mission, that would be ludicrous. They don't take journalists. At least last time I checked, they don't take journalists. But when you read about these stories, when you hear about these stories, dude, if you're a bad guy and SEAL Team 6 or Delta Force shows up at your front door at 3 a.m., you are capital F fucked. End of story. And I don't like swearing on the streams, but I'm trying to make it clear. You are capital F fucked if those two units come looking for you. End of story. End of story. I can only imagine $5 from Simple Minded 57. I can only imagine the effort it takes to maintain your streaming. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. It does take a lot of effort, but I do it because I love it. I do it because I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. I love going through the news with you all. You guys make this a dream for me. Never in a million years did I think a kid from rural Wisconsin, from a community where, no one really has much, just a great blue collar working class community, would I be able to build this with you guys as we go through the news, we go through what's going on. It's awesome. And you guys make it awesome. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. You guys make it what it is. You play every bit as big of a role in this as I do. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really neat. All right. What do we got? All right. So a lot of you want to see me interview my wife. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'll picture the idea. We'll do that. I'll picture the idea. We'll see what she says. And again, guys, bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X D Hookstead. Make sure you follow me on both. My DMs are open. Reach out to just say hello. I'm talking with guys. I'm talking with people all day. Viewers of the show all day. We're going back with theories, information. People talk about historical events. So please, seriously, give me a follow on both sites. Hop into my DMs, say hello. Let me know if you got a cool piece of information. And then make sure that you're liking this video and make sure you are subscribed to the page as well. Eagles fan Clark, I've had the opportunity to see it happen in real time. I imagine he's talking about tier 1 units doing CQB. I can't imagine. One of my dreams, actually, okay, just stick with me here for a moment. One of my dreams, which I think would be really fun, and I think I could probably get this set up. I think I could probably do it, but I want to do a little change of pace for the content for the page, just like a little fun thing. I think it would be epic if I could find like 7 or 8 former Delta Force guys or SEAL Team 6 guys, either one works, to paintball or shoot sim rounds against like me and 7 of my buddies. And we'll all wear GoPros, and we will literally film what happens when a regular dude who still knows how to use firearms well enough, I don't want to get into specifics, but you got to be careful here on YouTube. What happens when someone like that goes up against a tier 1 operator? I mean, I know what's going to happen, but I think it would be cool to see it in real time. I wish I'd seen it in real time. Brian Newland, in boot camp during my swim test, I was asked to go to SEALs. I refused because I'm not a great swimmer. Well, if you're not a great swimmer, probably you made the right choice then. Hold on, what do we got here? I'm reading through the chat right now. Yes, guys, I do see we do have a membership for the channel. If you guys join that helps keeps the lights on, helps us push forward with what we're doing. Because again, this isn't free. People are saying my idea would be over in about 1.5 seconds. Yeah, probably. Probably it would be over in 1.5 seconds. They'd probably just throw a flashbang. They'd probably just throw a flashbang in our general direction, and that would be the end of that. Oh, by the way, I went and saw the movie Obsession this past weekend. It's like the new movie everyone's talking about. Don't watch it if you don't like horror. I'm not a big horror fan. I like some horror movies. And so if you're not into that genre, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. I would never tell you guys to go see something if it wasn't in your general interest. I loved it. They made the movie for like $500,000. I think it's made like $250 million at the box office. It's one of the it's like an example of what happens when Hollywood actually does something good. The movie's insane. And I say that in a good way. It was a hell of a movie. It was epic. All right, we got LAF 615, $20. Thank you very much for the $20. Keep doing what you're doing. I plan to keep doing this as long as I'm alive and my heart's beating. I will keep doing what I'm doing. Hanging out with you guys, doing the Tuesday Night Lives. As you guys now know, I was overseas for about 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks? A little bit longer than 2 weeks. Getting married, so I couldn't do live streams, and I came back, had to deal with some stuff. But now we're back. The live streams are back. We're going to hang out together. We're going to go through the news. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. The movie is called Obsession. It's like a paranormal sci-fi horror. It's about a guy who, well, I don't want to say too much. You really can't even talk about the movie without giving away too much, but it is bonkers. But again, it's a horror movie. Don't go if you don't like horror movies. If you like scary movies, you should be in your car as soon as this is done to your local theater. It is bloody, though. I will warn you. There are some graphic scenes, but it's also just a fun movie. It keeps you thinking. And the other thing I'm really excited about is Lioness. Taylor Sheridan's CIA Black Ops show comes back in August. And I'll be in Vegas then too. So we got a lot of good things on the horizon. Who is this guy? Who is Ryoko Hakabi 8886? Is this guy causing problems in the chat? If this guy's causing problems in the chat, or maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying, but we're not going to have clowns in the chat here. All right, so y'all want to hear why I had to call the police twice in the span of 5 minutes yesterday? This is your nation's capital. This is Washington, D.C. This should be a city. Oh, okay. I apologize to Ryakobo Hakabi. I probably butchered your name. I apologize. I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were taking a shot at me. All right. So y'all want to hear? This is your nation's capital. This is what your tax dollars are going to. So at about, I don't know, maybe 5 o'clock p.m., all of a sudden, I hear it sounds like World War III is going on behind the back area of where I live. And I pop out. I'm in an area where the people down there cannot see me. I can see them. I don't want to get into the layout too much, but I'm not a stupid person when it comes to your home security. So I can see them. They cannot see me. And I see these 3 people. I want to be very careful how I choose my words. These 3 people behaving in a manner that I certainly, as a kid who grew up in rural Wisconsin, would never behave like. They're beating on things. I can hear smashing noises. I can hear nonstop yelling. It's just unbelievable. I think it's a domestic dispute. I think there's a full-blown domestic dispute going on. It looks like one of them might be a teenager. One of them's definitely like a full-grown adult woman. So then I would say the woman was maybe 40-ish, late 30s. One of them was probably 16, 17. One of them was maybe in their 20s. And all hell's breaking loose. Then they start yelling at someone in the house. Terrible things. Things that are not repeating for the internet. And I live in DC, right? I'm not going to say where, but I call 911. Takes the cops 15 minutes to show up. And then all hell breaks loose. One woman's coming out of her house. She's screaming at the police. She's screaming at this other woman. Looks like none of these people can do a push-up. Looks like none of these people can run a mile. It is clown show 101. And these 2 very professional police officers are trying to get this situation under control. Then I see one of them start like grabbing trash cans and throwing them around like it's the WWE. And I'm thinking, why are we not arresting these people? Why is nobody in handcuffs? You're not just disturbing the peace, you're disturbing the whole neighborhood with your shenanigans and antics. You appear to have the general education of a second grader. I doubt you can read. It was baffling. So eventually the police deal with that and leave. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. 2 to 3 minutes later, I watch this guy walk down the street and do a home invasion. Could not have been more than 3 minutes later. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I just watched these bozos get into the lowest IQ domestic dispute or whatever it was, because I don't know ultimately what happened. The police figured it out. I don't have all the details. I don't know. As soon as that is done, I have a home invasion. Police eventually show up again, turns into another whole thing. I actually got video. I got video of the home invader. And I was never able to really see, because it's hard to explain, but where he got up to and how he was kind of going in through a window. So I couldn't really see what he was grabbing. I got video of the guy. It's just, these people are out of control. I am leaving DC 100%. And by the way, this is how most of DC is. If you're not in specific neighborhoods in Georgetown, it is a war zone. And it used to be worse before the National Guard showed up. It used to be much worse. This is DC improved. I got stories. I was in a shooting in 2023. Same area. I was standing in the exact same location, actually. You would have thought you were in the movie Black Hawk Down with how much gunfire was going off. And again, this is not a terrible or bad area of DC. This is just DC. This is your nation's capital, folks. Oh man, you guys are going to get me in trouble. Hold on one second. Like I said, I got a little bit of a runny nose, but we're making it work. Yeah, it's absolute lunacy. It's absolute lunacy. And then you have people like me and my wife, and I've got some great neighbors, by the way. I've got some great neighbors. It's not everybody around me that is bad, not even a little bit. I got some great neighbors. I got some people I really like. But I'm telling you, these people, the criminal elements, the low IQ, out of control, lack the ability to control yourself, it's insane. I was raised by parents that would have whooped my ass if I had ever behaved like that. If I had ever behaved like they were behaving yesterday, my parents would have whooped my ass, plain and simple. And you know what? That's why I grew up to be a functioning adult who doesn't break the law and behave like I'm a member of a circus. People think he was breaking into my house. He was not breaking into my house. He was breaking into another house that was probably, if I had to eyeball it, 35 yards away, maybe 35 yards. Dude wasn't even a good criminal. I watched him do the whole thing. So, yeah, it's just these. Hold on one second. Hold on. I got an important. All right. Keep sending your chats in. Here's my solution to fix Washington, D.C. Okay. Now, people might not have the stomach for this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways, because I live here. I've lived in this war zone for over a decade. I have seen shit you guys couldn't imagine. Shootings, stabbings, muggings, dead bodies. It's a carousel of nightmare fuel. Now, I can take it. It doesn't bother me. My wife has watched people at point blank range. For those of you, do you all remember the 2020 riots? My wife has watched people at point blank range get shot and killed. And she's a stud. She's a champion. She didn't even slow down. So this is what we're dealing with here. And now I'm riffing. But if we're going to have this conversation, let's have this conversation. You want to fix cities like this? Here's how you do it. You put cops on every street corner, fund the police, you put cops on every street corner, and you enforce every letter of the law. And I don't care if you're at 16, 19, 22, or 55. You end up in handcuffs and you get brought in front of a judge and you did something bad, you're going to prison. And you're going to prison for a long time. You break into a house, 10 years. You kill someone, you're never getting out again. You rob someone, 25 years. And I guarantee you, this would stop real fast. And on top of that, there'd be a tactical component where you would have SWAT teams, hire more SWAT officers, and you are going to have rolling night raids on every known drug house in the city. Find a judge to sign the warrants, and in the middle of the night, break down their doors, drag them out of their beds, put them in handcuffs, drive them down to the local jail, put them in the court system, and then send their ass straight to jail. Prison, not jail, prison. That's how you fix this problem. And if you're a 16 or 15-year-old running around with weapons, robbing people, charge them as an adult. And when that prison door shuts, it ain't opening for a long, long, long time. That is the only way you are going to fix this situation. And on top of that, law-abiding citizens carry a gun. The laws to carry a concealed pistol in D.C. are utterly ridiculous. They make it borderline impossible. I would be handing out guns to law-abiding citizens. Now, I'm not handing out guns so they can go be a vigilante. I'm not handing out guns so they can escalate. But if I got to watch bad guys shoot each other, I want good guys to be able to shoot back. I'm sick of it. I know we started on Iran, but now I'm rolling. We need to crush these people. These criminals who terrorize our big cities are no different than the insurgent tactics that we saw in the GWAT, where they prey on innocent people. They prey on the weak. It is chaos unleashed. In a civilized society, cannot tolerate that. You have to stop that and absolutely crush it. And I remember in 2023, the shooting that occurred over here, and it was just wave after wave. You know, it probably only lasted in reality 15 to 20 seconds, but I mean, it was deafening gunfire. There were shell casings everywhere. You don't see that in rural Wisconsin. You want to know why you don't see that in rural Wisconsin? Because if you pulled that in rural Wisconsin, a guy in a pickup truck is going to get out of his pickup truck armed with a legal firearm, and he's going to end that situation in about half a second. And instead, the criminals here fear absolutely nothing. They don't fear the cops. The weak judges will have them out on bail 30 minutes after they get arrested. Enough is enough. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Law and order. And again, I live around some great people. People I really like. Hardworking Americans. Well-educated Americans. But unfortunately, the criminal class has ruined this city. All right. We got some super chats. I'm not ignoring you. We'll get to them now. We got Byron, 100% agree for $5. Thank you very much. Yeah, shit needs to end. We got Brian back for $2. Yes, sir. Brian, again, not to brag. You don't want me plinking at you. Here, I'm gonna do a new poll. All right. Do you support my plan to stop crime? So let's see what the results come in. What do we got for the results? 93% of you support the plan. Hell, I might have to ultimately run for office. Like, I'm actually fired up. Yesterday was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Everyone thinks they're tough. First off, if you've ever been in a shooting, let me know in the live chat. Keep the comments appropriate. I'm not trying to get on trouble or in trouble with YouTube. But if you've ever been in a shooting, let me know in the chat. Until you see it with your own eyes, or you see the drugged out zombies walking around this city, it is appalling. Appalling. And all these little gangbangers who weigh 135 pounds soaking wet, who managed to somehow get their hands on a weapon, they think they're real tough. They think terrorizing the elderly woman down the street, that makes them real tough. They think that flashing their gun and robbing someone at 9 p.m. who's just trying to walk home after a hard day of work, they think that makes them tough. My fellow Christians, I'll tell you what makes you tough. I'll tell you what makes you tough. Standing up for your community. Standing up for what's right. And unfortunately, our morals in this country and the weakness of our leaders has led to a situation where the bad guys don't fear the good guys anymore. It used to be that bad guys knew it was either the cops or maybe a local homeowner or somebody would put an end to it. And now they don't fear that because the laws are written, certainly in DC, self-defense doesn't really exist. You're not allowed to do it. You are not allowed to do it. I'll tell you one more story. I'll tell you one more glorious story of Washington, D.C. This was probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. Probably about that time. I'm home alone. And I'm with Dusty the dog. And we're getting ready. It's about time to go to bed. And I hear a car pull up. And I hear all this sound outside the window. And I pop the window. And I look down. And there's, I got to choose my words so carefully here. There is a dude in an effing ski mask with stuff all lined out on the back of this car. Computers, purses, and he's rifling through this stuff. And I popped the window. Now, I learned some information later, and I don't know if my wife was too happy I did this. I don't know if I would have done it if I knew the full picture. And I popped the window, and I pretty much was like, what the F you think you're doing? He gets scared. He takes off in the car. I can tell he doesn't know how to drive this car, so I know right away it's stolen. And he leaves everything behind. And I made the decision, even before he took off, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to stop this. I've had enough. I've had enough of these criminals. I've had enough. I can tell he robbed someone. I can tell he robbed a woman. No, we're not letting that happen. I don't care if I get my ass whooped in the process. The answer is no. You're now in my neighborhood, and you have clearly terrorized an innocent woman. No, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. But he took off. I couldn't get down there fast enough, but he left everything. Well, what do? As a good law-abiding citizen, I gather up the stuff, put it in the bag, take it into where I live. Now, I have some tools that I have access to through things I do that allow me to find people's cell phone numbers, contact information immediately. If I have a name for anybody, I can get their contact information like that. So I open the computer. I see who the person is. I contact them. I text them. And I probably should have worded this better. I said, were you just robbed? I have all your stuff. I live at this address. Come by. I hope everything's okay. Come by and get your stuff. I get a phone call, probably not more than a minute or two later, from a restricted number. It's the cops calling. And if I remember this correctly, the woman was on the phone first, and she asked where I was, and she asked what I had. And I told her what I had, and I had something important. I had something that this woman would not want missing, right? So I'm thinking, okay, no problem. She's going to come pick it up. She's like, we'll be there in 5 minutes. The cops show up, and they're treating me like I'm a suspect. Did you not just hear the story I told you, officer? I'm in a robe. I'm going to bed. Does it look like I live in a situation where I'm robbing people? Well, it turned out that guy had a gun. So I was about to go one-on-one, unarmed, and the criminal had a gun. I have no idea. I know that while that was happening, this guy was committing rolling crimes, and I think they eventually caught him. The police are treating me like I'm the bad guy. I just put my neck on the line. Oh, best yet, they wanted my DNA. The cops were demanding my DNA to rule me out. Rule me out? There's a surveillance camera in the hallway. There's a surveillance camera elsewhere. What are you talking about? So, anyways, this is your nation's capital. It is what it is. So we got some super chats here. Wow, Chris Snow with $100. Thank you very much. Huge super chat. You are 100%. I assume it meant to say 100% correct. I think it's the 100 emoji. God bless. Thank you very much for the big super chat. Eddie the goalie, $70. No message even. Thank you very much. Bullman 5560. Love what you do. Watch everything you post. Thank you very much. And then Chris No right here, back with $100. Glad you stopped the robber. Well, I didn't catch him in the immediate moment. He eventually was able to drive out. And if you guys could kind of see a map, which I'm not going to put on the screen because I don't need some crazy IRGC guy to see it and figure out where I live, you'd be able to visualize what had happened. So, I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen home invasions. I've seen shootings. I've seen blood. My wife, not that long ago, walking down the street, woman just sitting there in a pool of her own blood. This is your nation's capital. I wish I could tell you it wasn't, but it is. All right. What do we got in the chats? All right, I'm going to go to the poll. 92% of you have voted that you support my plan to stop crime. Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done with it. It is out of control. And the fact of the matter is, it's only going to change when people say we've had enough, and I've had enough. All right, what do we got? You guys have been killing it tonight in the chat. You guys have been doing absolutely epic. Sorry, I got more information coming in. Sorry, give me a second. Oh, by the way, Well, I don't know if it's worth playing, but do you guys know who Mike Glover is? Do you guys know who Mike Glover is? I'm going to show you guys a video, and I want you guys to explain to me if you have any idea. Do you know? Do you know who Mike Glover is? Does anyone know? Because I saw a video, and maybe someone here can explain what's going on. But if none of you know who he is, all right, I'm going to show a video. I want you guys to tell me. I'll put this on the screen. I want you guys to tell me. This is quote unquote one man CQB. There's a bunch of dudes in the comments just tearing him to shreds for this. I'm going to play this. If any of you understand CQB at a higher level, please tell me what the hell is happening in this video.
I'm walking down, I retract it, I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right? That's working the flexibility off the hips, but also giving me a position of the gun to clear left and right. Like worst case scenario, you're in a school where there's an active shooting and I'm moving down the hallway, clearing adjacent doors, versus looking in the doorway, I see a threat that's gonna kill me and I'm too late, so I'm dead. So
Does anyone want to explain to me what that is? Hold on. I look left, I look right. So you're looking through thresholds and you're hip firing. So you don't, let's watch.
So I'm here, I'm walking down, I retract it, I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right? That's working the flexibility off the.
Again, I'm not an expert on gunfights, but I'm fairly certain if you don't have your sights up and you can't see what you're shooting at, hip firing through thresholds might not be the best idea. Again, and he's using a potential, well, I don't even know if I can say the words on YouTube without getting dinged. That is not, I've never seen, I know guys who can do CQB again at lightning speed. Listen, maybe I would love, I mean, come on. What was that? That was, I look left, I look right. I look left, I look right. How about looking at your sights? How about having the gun up ready to shoot? Very odd. Very, very odd. He's clearing a room or a house. Yeah, but that's not how you clear. It's not how you clear. Again, well, it's not worth talking about tactics, which I don't even know. I'm not an expert in any of that, but I know people who are. And I guarantee you they're not. I look left. I look right. I look left. I look right. What? And so if you see something through a doorway, you hip fire? Fat chance. Absolutely, absolutely insane. Yeah, everyone is very confused in the live chat right now. I don't blame you. I'm very confused as well. People are saying I think he's joking. I don't think he is joking at all. It's just crazy. All right, guys. This has been another great night. I know we started with Iran, then we started cooking with how are we going to solve the crime issues in America. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get all those solved today, but we're doing the best we can. Oh, did my video go away? So I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a stopwatch on. We're going to put a timer on for 5 minutes. And we're going to have 5 minutes where we're just going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Yeah, so no one has any idea what that was. All right, so we're going to go 5 more minutes. It's been fun, guys. I really enjoy doing this with you all. This is the highlight of my week. Yeah, well, again, look down the sights. I mean, why have optics on a rifle if you don't intend on using them? Guys, there's a video. I don't think I can show it. There's a video of a Delta Force team doing CQB in Iraq. It's a real video. Like the video shows them actually killing terrorists, which is why I don't think I would be allowed to show it on YouTube. What I will tell you about the video is they're not doing, I look left, I look right, I look left, I look right. No. They were rolling in there like it was hell on earth, just crushing dudes. So listen, maybe I'm 100% wrong. Maybe that is how they do it. I don't know anyone who's done that. And the people in the comment section on that Instagram post who did that for a long, long time against very, 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 very bad people didn't do it that way either. So that's where we're at with Iran. That's where we're at with the whole situation. So we will see what comes next. This has been one of the most fun live streams we've done in a while. Let's see what the poll is for my crime plan. 89% will end the poll there. Maybe you guys, I don't know, maybe you guys think I should run for office. And before you leave, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really, really, really helps. And if you guys think I should run for office, let me know. I don't think I would ever win an election. I don't think I would ever win an election here in DC. But, crazier things, I guess, maybe have happened. So you guys are still debating the CQB video. So people are saying they want to see me run for office. I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh, people are saying if I would I actually follow through on my plans to stop crime? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I care about protecting the innocent people. I care about protecting the upstanding citizens of society. That's who I care about. I don't care at all about the criminals. The criminals can rot in prison, as far as I'm concerned. What they want is of no concern to me. What the criminals want doesn't matter. It is about protecting innocent life. It is about protecting innocent civilians. It is about making sure we live in a civilized society. And the only way you're going to get that is you need to treat the criminal element like the cancer that it is. So I would absolutely do it. I would do it without hesitation. And I would do it with a smile on my face. And I don't think I'll ever be elected here. That's just the reality of where I live. But, I'd do it. I would do it without hesitation. But hey, guys, it's been amazing. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me on this Tuesday night. This has been awesome. I'm going to head on out. I'll see you all later. We'll see you hopefully again for another live stream this upcoming Tuesday. You all have a great night. Thank you very much for joining.